Back-to-back FA Vase successes here at Wembley, only the fourth team ever to retain the trophy, and now the chance for Whitley Bay to make history by beating Coalville Town in a third consecutive final. 2009, Glossop North End beaten 2-0. Last year, Wroxham thumped by 6-1. Today, Coalville Town of the Midland Alliance stand between Whitley Bay and unprecedented FA Vase success. Can the Seahorses lift the trophy for the third year in a row and the fourth time in total? Extra time and penalties if necessary, and you'll hear every bit of action from Wembley here on BBC Newcastle. We've got the whole game live. Damon Robson, the Whitley Bay skipper, leads his side out. Both teams now just taking their place on the pitch, on the red carpet, across in front of the dugouts as we look. The presentation just beginning with one or two members of the FA, one or two dignitaries. Barry, you've got a couple of the names there.
Yeah, leading them is Barry Bridge. He's the vice chairman of the FA, so he's one of the power brokers here at Wembley, which of course is now the headquarters of the administrative side of Wembley, of the FA, as well as being the national stadium. The chairman of the FA Vase committee is there, and of course representing the competition sponsors Carlsberg is Isaac Shep, and without Carlsberg this wouldn't be the occasion it is. So they're just being introduced to the two sides now.
The two teams just shake hands with one another, and with the officials here today, the referee Scott Matheson, assisted by Darren Bond and Darren England, and the fourth official is Robert Madeley. Reminder of the two teams then: Whitley Bay go with Terry Burke in goal, long-serving veteran goalkeeper. Made over 400 appearances for the club, started the last two FA Vase finals. Across the back, well, one or two changes, possibly surprises. Gareth Williams, 10 years at Blythe Spartans, played in their FA Cup side in 2008-2009 against the likes of Bournemouth and Blackburn Rovers, starts there at the right of the three. Darren Timmins, who missed the 2009 final for injury, played last year in the centre. Callum Anderson played the full 90 last year at Wembley, is at the left of the three, we think. The two wing-backs, Craig McFarlane, former Sunderland youngster, and David Pounder, who joined Whitley Bay in the summer from Consett in midfield. Damon Robson, once a junior at Newcastle United, he captains the side today. He's in midfield alongside Paul Robinson, who scored in last year's 6-1 win over Wroxham here in the final at Wembley. Gary Ormston, another player who joined Whitley Bay in the summer from Consett in midfield. Up front, their dynamic duo, Lee Kerr and Paul Chow, both scored in the last two finals, aiming for personal and collective hat-tricks here today. On the bench for Whitley Bay, the goalkeeper Kyle Hayes, Brian Smith, Brian Rowe, Steve Gibson and David Coulson. If you're just joining us on BBC Newcastle, 4 centre-halves and a goalkeeper on the bench for Whitley Bay. The team for Coalville, Sean Bowles in goal. Across the back four, Cameron Stewart likely to operate at left back. Adam Goodby and Zach Costello and Ashley Brown make up their defence. Brown, the captain, with 10 years at the club and over 400 appearances for the Ravens. In midfield, Anthony Carney, Lee Miveld, Callum Woodward, who's got 15 goals this season, and Ryan Robbins probably will operate from the left, although we understand that it's quite flexible and the two wingers in particular can change positions. And up front, Jerome Murdoch and Matt Moore, who's got 30 goals and 7 in the FA Vase this season. The substitutes for Coalville Town: Richard Williams, Ashley Wells, Craig Atwood, Matthew Gardner and James Dodd. We're just about ready to go here at Wembley. The Whitley Bay players will be kicking from left to right in this first half. They just break from a little huddle and a few words of encouragement and support from one another. They won the toss and will play in their traditional blue and white striped shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Coalville wearing all white, as Barry said, with a little bit of black piping on. The two teams take their place. It will be Coalville Town, first time ever in the new Wembley, first appearance in an FA Vase final to kick us off. Can Whitley Bay make history by winning this competition for the third year in a row and the fourth time in total? On the verge of unprecedented FA Vase success, the Seahorses, managed by Ian Chandler. And here we are at Wembley. The referee blows us underway. We're live the whole game on BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Coalville kick off and immediately play a ball on the diagonal over to the left-hand side. Whitley Bay come forward, though. Damon Robson into Chow on halfway, and a strong sliding tackle to play the ball forward by Coalville. Another pass looking for the run there of Jerome Murdoch, but it goes all the way through to Whitley Bay goalkeeper Terry Burke, wearing all green. His Coalville counterpart Sean Bowles in all yellow. Terry Burke kicks the ball out of his hands, long over halfway. Paul Chow will contest in the air with Costello. It drops down, it bounces off Paul Robinson, and Coalville can come forward. Sliding challenge from Paul Robinson, maybe just a little bit late there on Ryan Robbins, the number 16 for Coalville. Just slid in, no malice, Barry, just a little bit too late, and not a hefty challenge, but a foul nonetheless. And a
foul without a doubt, but I think a bit of sort of early exuberance, both sides playing at a tremendous tempo in the first literally few seconds of the game, and you would expect that, Matthew. They'll be nervous, there'll be tension there, but they'll run that out of their legs fairly soon.
By this time last year, Whitley Bay were already celebrating having been 1-0 up. A minute gone at Wembley, and it's 0-0. Listen to BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Coalville, their free kick came to nothing. They do now have it though on the right hand side, attacking the corner of the Whitley Bay penalty area. Driving towards the byline is Carney, tries to get across into the box, and it's blocked and behind for a first corner of the game to Coalville. So early pressure from the side from Leicestershire, and we said that they'd come here to cause an upset but have a go as well. Of course, champions of their league, and we have debated somewhat before the game about how strong that league is, but I think they will provide sterner opposition than Glossop and Wroxham in the last 2 years. A corner to be taken in swinger from the right hand side, left-footed from Miveld. It's towards the back post, header up in the air by a Whitley Bay player, then a header on it, and it's off the line, headed clear by Paul Robinson from Whitley Bay. In the right place at the right time as Coalville keep the move alive. Claims of a foul, still play, ball into the box to the back post. It's going to drop. Important interception there by Robson, and now Whitley Bay can come forward themselves, approaching halfway. Chow free on the right, diagonal ball over the top for Paul Chow. Can he get there and keep it in? He can't, and it's out of play midway through the Coalville half, but danger there from the corner, Barry. Ball played into the box, headed back across his own goal by a Whitley Bay player, I think possibly Gareth Williams, and then a header on it which looped. Thankfully Paul Robinson on the line to clear. Didn't
deal with it particularly impressively, Matthew, to be honest with you, and again you put that down to early match nerves. There was a bit of jittering, the keeper didn't know whether to stick up to his, a couple of defenders didn't know whether to challenge or not to challenge, but in the end they got the ball clear, and I guess that they'll be looking to settle themselves down, get some feet on the ball, and indeed they're in possession now inside the Coalville.
Strong challenge from Paul Chow. Now Whitley Bay get it onto the left-hand side. Here's Robson into the penalty area, skipping past a couple of players, shot low, past the right-hand post of Coalville. Ironic cheers from their fans, but decent attacking position for Whitley Bay there, and maybe a little bit more belief, a little bit more conviction, and could have troubled the goalkeeper there.
Well, I think we've got to wait for the game to settle down, Matthew, and that hasn't quite happened yet. We've seen some rash challenges go in, we've seen a bit of excitement at either end of the field, and Coalville not daunted at all, certainly on the early evidence. They're coming forward again down the right and winning a throw-in deep in Whitley Bay territory, so they certainly haven't frozen on the occasion.
3.5 minutes gone here at Wembley. The FA Vase final, Coalville 0, Whitley Bay 0, live on BBC Newcastle. Ball into the box to Matt Moore, back to goal, gives it back now to Carney, and then a cross comes into the box, deflected off a white shirt last, and it'll be a goal kick to Whitley Bay, the side from Leicestershire, settling the better, I think it's fair to say. Let's grab an early word with our reporter Paul Dixon, who's pitch side for us. Paul, a bit of a frenetic and frantic start, but Coalville maybe just settling more than Whitley Bay.
Well, you're right. I mean, they look a good side, Coalville. They look as though they want to get the ball down and play it, but just from that corner that Paul Robinson headed off the line, it just tells you that they're a little bit short with height from corners and set pieces, and Paul Robinson done very well to not let Coalville take the lead early on.
Robson heads it down for David Pounday, hooks it clear with his right foot. Coalville will just let the ball run, keep it in deep inside their own half, and then knocked long forward by the skipper Brown. A little flick on there by Murdoch, and now Moore tries to go round Darren Timmins, who's going to be forced all the way to his own back line and can't keep the ball in. Claims of a foul, but the referee signals for a corner. Just under pressure there, Timmins, and a shove in the back as he tried to bring that ball under control, and then as a result of the shove lost his balance, couldn't keep it in, and another corner to Coalville.
Surprised the referee didn't blow for the free kick there, because his assistant on the far side was bang in line with that, and there was certainly a push on Timmins, but in the final analysis it's a corner coming in from the right now.
Another in-swinger with the left foot towards the back post, header up in the air, that time by Gareth Williams, the former Blythe Spartans man for Whitley Bay. Now here's Robbins trying to take on Lee Kerr, gets past him, Robbins into the penalty area, danger here, pulls it back, it beats everybody. Oh, if a white shirt had been there, they just needed a touch to put that one in. Smooth still alive though, outside the box. Ball in by Mival, straight down the throat of Terry Burke, but danger again. Coalville just attacking Whitley Bay. It was Robbins with his blue boots who took on Lee Kerr and got past him with worrying ease. I know Lee Kerr not a defensive player, but Robbins got away into the byline and pulled it back. It just missed out all of his own players, and again just one touch, and that could have been Coalville taking a lead. And now they win the ball back from Whitley Bay. They give it away in midfield, and now Coalville coming forward down the left hand side. Here's Stewart cutting inside, crowded out by two Whitley Bay players, and now the Seahorses can come forward, sliding in. Two players, and Coalville again have it now on the edge of the Whitley Bay area. Back to goal, Moore. Now coming forward from right back is Brown. Cleared by Whitley Bay, and now a chance for Paul Chow to have a touch of the ball and tries to play a ball in behind for Lee Kerr. Coalville read it though, and the number 4 Adam Goodby gets it to Brown, who then switches the play over to this left hand side for Cameron Stewart. Ball on the diagonal, looking for the run of Carney, headed down by Callum Anderson, and it's just too long for David Pounder, and a throw into to Coalville, who will be very, very pleased with the start that they've made, and their fans below us are certainly quite content as well. As now a ball over the top finds Murdoch into the penalty area. The ball bounced. Whitley Bay can't let it do that. He goes down under the challenge there of Callum Anderson, picks it up again though outside the box, and Whitley Bay sliding out for another throw. There, look at 6s and 7s at the back. Whitley Bay, this is most surprising.
Got past his man very easily, didn't he? Turned him very easily and got into the penalty area. Coalville started this game very brightly, very confidently, and a dangerous ball into the box again for Whitley Bay.
Now plays for a handball as the ball hits Callum Anderson there, I think it was, the number 3. It just bounced down, didn't it, onto his chest. He turned and cleared it immediately. Nothing doing for the referee, thankfully. Now Coalville have it with the number 7, Callum Woodward, tries to play it to Robbins. That move doesn't work out, and Whitley Bay can have a throw in, and maybe Paul Dixon, a reporter who's pitched, had a chance just to get their breath and start this game.
Screaming for a penalty there, the Coalville bench, and the referee done well not to give that, but Coalville have started very lively, and I think Whitley's got a game on here, Matthew.
Coalville again have the ball. Robson though manages to nick it for Whitley Bay in midfield, and now Pounder tries to arrow a ball out to this left hand side. Got his to the right hand side. Sorry, got his angles all wrong. It was behind Lee Kerr wearing bright red boots for Whitley Bay, and Coalville take a throw in. 0-0 on BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Kerr will put the Coalville keeper under pressure. Good kick though by Sean Bowles with his left foot. Header down there by Ormston for Whitley Bay. Now McFarlane down the line. Whitley have it inside now. Here's a chance. Kerr on the edge of the area. Bit of room for the shot. It's low, it's flat, and it's quite weak in the end. It goes past the right-hand post.
Should have done better. Couldn't get it out from under his feet. That was better from Whitley. Good work down the right by Craig McFarlane, and then a nice ball infield from Paul Robinson to Kerr. As I say, he got it tied under his feet and didn't really get the power behind his shot that he would have wanted. But that's what they need. They need the midfield to start putting their foot on the ball, slowing the game down a bit. It's all a bit frantic, and Whitley Bay don't play that way. They can play with pace, but they are better when they're picking the ball up in midfield and picking their men out and spreading it. That's what they've got to start to do.
A bit of an unconvincing start then from the holders here in the FA Vase final at Wembley. And this is sort of the second of the two big non-league cup competitions. Yesterday the FA Trophy won here by Darlington against Mansfield with a goal in the 119th minute. And so we can have another North East success against a side from the East Midlands. Coalville though have it. Stewart with a ball into the box. It's looping and might drop over Terry Burke. It's just dropped onto the roof of the net. Well, it was just a hopeful ball in. It took a massive deflection, I think, off the knee of Paul Robinson, and it was looping at Terry Burke, scrambling. It looked at one point as if he might be all right, and then suddenly, as the ball started to dip, he was scrambling back and didn't get anything on it. It landed on the roof of the net, but another corner on that far right-hand side to Coalville. It'll be another in-swinger with the left foot. And again, danger here. This is where Whitley Bay have really struggled, set pieces. And they've got everyone back, I think, bar Robson. Now here's the corner coming in. Header on it, just flashes a long way wide in the end, and the referee actually signals for a free kick. A Whitley Bay player down in the box there. It's all right, I think it's David Pounder, the left wing back. And Terry Burke will gladly take a free kick. At the minute, we're just grateful of any stoppage in play, Barry, so Whitley can gather their composure, get their breath back, and try and take some sting out of this early Coalville pressure.
They're very nervy, and We had reservations, I certainly did, about Terry Burke and the two nervous finals he played in goal on the two previous years, and he's been pretty much the same. That last corner kick, he came, he stopped, he went back, and you know, they need to be a bit more solid at the back, but I think more particularly just conceded another unnecessary corner there.
Darren Timmins that time with a completely miscued clearance, ball long over the top, went through it with his right foot when it would have been more natural to come onto it with his left, and just completely mishit it, and it flew behind for a corner again. Well, you know, we say it when teams are on top, they have to score, and from Coalville's point of view, this is the time they need to score, because Whitley Bay will get chances, they will have pressure in the game. But in the opening 11 minutes on BBC Newcastle Live at Wembley, this FA Vase final has been dominated by the first-timers Coalville Town. And aside from Leicestershire wearing all white today, take another corner from that far right-hand side, another in-swinger from the left boot. Again, deep towards the back post, half cleared by Whitley Bay, and now up to McFarlane, who's the man they left furthest forward. And now that's a nice ball there by Pounder, but maybe just too much on it there for the on-rushing Paul Robinson. And now Coalville play it down the line, looking for the run of Matt Moore. Man at his back. Can he hold him off? Just about manages to do so. Plays it inside Robbins. Time to turn on the edge of the area. Gives it wide right to Carney. Strong challenge there from two Whitley Bay players. And Ormston gives it to Pounder, who clears up to halfway. Lee Kerr will challenge in the air and wins a flick on against the much taller Zach Costello for Coalville, but it goes all the way through to their goalkeeper Bowles, who plays it long and up to Robbins, who's been a real threat so far on the edge of the area. Now shot coming in, blocked by Whitley Bay. That time it was Ormston, and now Robinson can try and play the ball out of danger with Robson, but they lose possession. Every move seems to break down for Whitley Bay, and now Coalville come again down the right-hand side, approaching the edge of the Whitley Bay box. Flag is up, ball went out of play. They just overplayed it there on that right-hand side. But more worrying signs, and every time, not just so much when Coalville attack, but when Whitley Bay get the ball, Barry, they're not using it in the way that we've seen them do. They seem to be panic, it seems to be nervy, and every move's breaking down.
We talked about the need for the midfield to get their foot on the ball and start to create, and that hasn't begun to happen yet. The ball played forward to Kerr there, but he's got to stretch for it, and he loses out in midfield, and that's been fairly typical, and Coalville comes straight back again. Here
come Coalville on the edge of the area, bit of room for a shot, comes in straight at Terry Burke, bounces off the keeper, and then smacked clear by Gareth Williams. Danger there again. Ball put back towards the edge of the box by Coalville. Headed down by Robson to half clear. Here comes Robbins, though, the dangerous number 16, going on the left-hand side. Slips not for the first time, allows Anderson to get it clear up to Robson, but again they play their way into trouble. Ormston that time almost loses out, and now Whitley Bay try to... Well, they claimed a foul there for a challenge on Paul Chow, nothing given. And now here come Coalville. Brown, the captain, to lift a ball into the box, looking for more. Little flick header just wide. Maybe didn't get all that much of a touch on it. Had he made proper contact, it would have been in. He got up between two defenders. I think it just skimmed off his head and wide. But again, too much room to work the opening, too much room to get the ball in, and a man smaller than two centre-backs rising between them to get half a flicked header on and go close for Coalville.
He just got across his man far too easily. Callum Anderson didn't deal with the cross, and he allowed the attacker to get across him, and if he'd got any purchase on his header at all, Terry Burke on his goal line wouldn't have had any chance at all.
Flick on by Paul Chow, cleared by Coalville. BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East Live at Wembley. 0-0 in the FA Vase final. Paul Dixon, our reporter, is pitchside. Let's talk to Paul again. We thought Whitley might start to settle, but a quarter of an hour into this match, Paul, they haven't, and Coalville again showing signs that they will threaten the goal, and they've gone even closer.
Well, Matthew, it's like the Alamo here, and they've got to batten down the hatches and do the job. But David Coulson has been told to warm up because they are struggling in the centre of defence. Matt Moore is a very good player.
Nice play by Callum Anderson there, who's fouled, goes down, free kick is given. A bit of a late whistle by the referee, did well, brought the ball down on his chest on halfway and carried it forward. The number 3 for Whitley Bay, played all of last year's final, and slipped the ball in behind for Craig McFarlane. There was too much on the pass, and I think the referee was waiting to see if any advantage could be played. There was none, and that gives Whitley Bay a free kick, and this isn't a bad position. We've talked about there's not an awful lot of height in this team for Whitley Bay, but this is, I'll make it around about 30 yards out from goal. about 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline, almost directly in front of us here in the commentary position here at Wembley. And over the ball, number 12, David Pounder with his left, Damon Robson with his right will swing it in. Robson towards the back post, gathered though by the goalkeeper. Good hands by Sean Bowles. Maybe not an awful lot of pace on the ball, plenty of bend, but it was more floated in there, I suppose, than driven and whipped by Robson. Captaining the side today, David Coulson, who Paul Dixon mentioned there as warming up, is on the bench. Now that's nice passing from Whitley Bay. That's better, as Barry says. Coming forward now with Pounder, coming from the right. Here's Paul Robinson, edge of the area, still going Robinson. Gets past a couple of men, gets a shot in. It's blocked off the shins of a Coalville player. It's going to run for a corner, and it does, behind Whitley Bay with their first corner of the game, 16 minutes in. And as you said, Barry, nice football on halfway, and that's better.
Very much better, and it was because the midfield players had the time and created the space to do their job. Paul Robinson started and finished off that move, won the corner, and perhaps that will give Whitley Bay the path that they need to get into this game, because they certainly haven't been in it thus far.
Looks like Pounder and Robson take a short corner. They do, gives it back to Pounder. It's on his right, flips a ball in there. Oh, just evaded the head of Paul Chow and went straight to the goalkeeper. Again, it's one of those that if someone gets a touch, it invariably ends up in the back of the net. It was just floated in there. Nice little ball in. Seemed to catch everyone by surprise though, and gathered by the goalkeeper.
I think he did. I think it caught Paul Chow by surprise as well, because he was in a good position at the near post there, and as you say, had he got his head on it, it might have been danger for the opposition, but he just couldn't get his feet off the ground, essentially.
Great atmosphere here at Wembley for this FA Vase final. Remember last year, 8,920. Here as Coalville come forward again, more on the edge of the area, challenging with two Whitley Bay defenders. They get it back just about to Terry Burke. We said they've started badly. It's still 0-0, so that's the main positive. And now a ball forward, looking for Robinson. Goalkeeper will get there first though. Might have to let it run out for a goal kick. He does just that as Robinson puts pressure on him and the number 4, Adam Goodby. Yes, it said just over, nearly 9,000 here last year. I don't wonder, Barry, if they may have beaten that this year. It's hard to tell, of course.
I think so, Matthew.
Not all of of course, it's just the stand where we are. The main section at Wembley is full. Coalville just in front of us. It's their supporters, you can hear now, all on their feet, jumping up and down and clapping, get away from their manager. Whitley Bay away to our left, but I think we're probably going to get nearer 10,000 here, which will be a tremendous crowd as Coalville hook it clear. Forward by Robbins. Anderson down for Whitley Bay. Here's Gary Ormston, signed from the summer, in the summer from Concert, his first final of the FA Vase. Coalville smacked forward, ball by Callum Woodward, the number 7. Moore will challenge. Nicely brought down though by Anderson, and here's Timmins. Plays it forward to no one in particular though. In fact, it's on the chest of the Coalville town manager. He gives it back to his number 3, Cameron Stewart, the left back. Throw-ins taken, headed out by Craig McFarlane for Whitley Bay. And another throw into Coalville, just edging further forward now, about 15 yards inside the Whitley Bay half, away to our left. Man at his back is Robbins, played back to Murdoch, whip ball in. It's going to run all the way out for a Whitley Bay goal kick, and again that will allow them to take some of the sting out of it. Well, at this point last year it was 1-1. We were spoiled by early goals. 0-0 though at this stage of the FA Vase final at Wembley, here on BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Matthew Raisbeck and Barry Heinsohn with commentary. Paul Dixon is pitch side. Let's grab a word with Paul Dixon now.
Matthew, they've changed the system. They've thrown Paul Robinson up front to play alongside Paul Chow, and Lee Kerr's dropped into midfield, and I don't wonder, because they've been dominating the play at Coalville.
And now over the top, here comes Paul Robinson, a good ball forward. The goalkeeper lets it bounce in behind. But as you say, Paul Robinson switching positions with Lee Kerr. And if my memory serves me correctly, they did that in one of their earlier games. Possibly Dunstan, was it, when they were behind and struggling?
And it paid off, Matthew, it did.
But it was in the semi-final at Hill Heads, and it proved to be a masterstroke. And what the consequence of that will be that there's a little bit more pace in midfield where Lee Kerr is, and he can get forward, he can beat men, and if Robinson can get up alongside Chow, it could be a good tactic. What Coalville are doing is they're getting the ball forward at every opportunity, and they've got pace. What we haven't yet seen, except for a couple of half occasions, is how well their defence can cope if Whitley are able to put pressure on them. That's what we need to see. We need to see the Whitley Bay midfield begin to function and begin to get service to the front men, and see if they can find out how good this back four is.
So already a change in system then from Whitley Bay. BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport, 0-0 here at Wembley. free kick by Whitley Bay, deep inside their own half, taken forward. A little attempt at a flick on by Gary Ormston. It's half-headed clear by Coalville, and then a foul, challenged by Paul Robinson it was, on, I think that was Zach Costello, the centre-back, and a free kick given. It just jumped into his man as they challenged for a header, taken short and quickly by Sean Bowles, the Coalville keeper, wearing all yellow and white boots. Coalville in all white, normally play in black and white. Whitley Bay in their traditional blue and white striped shirts. They play a ball down the line, headed out of play by David Pounder for Whitley Bay. He was a guest on Total Sport on Friday night on BBC Newcastle, along with the Whitley Bay assistant Steve Cuggy. A reminder, there'll be reaction from this Vase final here at Wembley, and also our 2 Premier League games yesterday, and the Newcastle Falcons Premiership match at Bath in Total Sport tomorrow night at 5:30 on BBC Newcastle. Your freshest look at North East Sport. Coalville have it. Robbins tries to play a ball for Cameron Stewart, who slides in there with Craig McFarlane, just about gets the better of the Whitley Bay wing back, who then plays it off Stewart and clears at the second attempt, and it goes out of play for throw to Coalville, midway inside the Whitley Bay half. They're just about getting away with things in terms of getting it clear. It's not necessarily convincing. I wouldn't say it's last ditch, but it's doing the job, as now they stab it clear from Williams. And here's Robinson, skips inside a couple of players. Sliding challenge though in the middle by number 8 Lee Miveld, and now Whitley Bay have it though. Here's Pounder on halfway, good ball forward. Paul Chow, he's got Robinson on the far side, angles the ball over the top for Robinson. Can he keep it in? He might just get there, does, slides and plays it off Cameron Stewart, who came in strongly and slid in hard. Good little high five between the two players, no malice, but a strong sliding challenge. But Whitley Bay have a throw in, and it's about 5 yards from the Coalville goal line, and it's on this right hand side, and McFarlane will take.
There are signs that I think Whitley are beginning to settle, Matthew. They've been a bit more composed in the last few minutes, and let's hope that's a sign of things to come.
They've got 5 men in the box. Whitley Bay, here comes the long throw from the right from McFarlane. Little flick on by Ormston. It hit a first Coalville player and comes back now to McFarlane. That's a nice lofted ball in. Chow challenging for a header. Miveld will head clear. Oh, nearly dropped on the edge of the box for Pounder. He was lining up the volley there. It just missed him, and then a strong challenge by number 4 Darren Timmins for Whitley Bay results in a free kick to Coalville, which they take quickly over the top. Terry Burke comes out. Good communication that time between goalkeeper and defence. He gathers, told Callum Anderson to leave it, and all green today. Terry Burke starting his 3rd FA Vase final in 3 years. Bowls it out for himself and clears over halfway, but it's straight to a white shirt of Coalville. It was Adam Goodby that time. Now up to Ryan Robbins, the number 16. Nice ball inside, but it was read by Darren Timmins, and he clears for Whitley Bay. And Stewart under a bit of pressure from 2 Bay players. Short back pass inside. It's going to come for Paul Chow, challenging with the keeper, and it's behind for a goal kick in the end. Well, a complete mishap there. Shocking back pass by Cameron Stewart, totally under hit, and Paul Chow, who'd applied sort of minimal pressure on the left back, was suddenly in on goal there, and he chased down the ball. The goalkeeper came out. They got there at the same time, both sliding in, and fortunately for Coalville, the keeper got just enough on it, and it rebounded on Paul Chow. Could have gone anywhere, Barry. Went behind for a goal kick, and from the resulting goal kick, Coalville have won themselves a corner.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff now, Matthew. That was almost disaster, as you say, for Coalville. Lapse in concentration, and the silent assassin Paul Chow was almost in on it. Let's hope that they take encouragement from the fact that when they can get into the penalty area of the Coalville end of the field, they can cause problems, but now they've got a corner to defend at their own end of the field.
First time we've seen any danger for Whitley Bay. Corner comes in, headed by a Whitley Bay player behind again, and another corner. Terry Burke came out there and
got nowhere near
it. Fortunately, one of his own players got a header on it. I think it might have been Gary Ormston who got that, but the first time we've really seen Coalville make any sort of mistake at the back. Whitley Bay will take heart from that, and very nearly a shocker of a goal to concede. But a second corner, this time from the left, in swinger from number 8 Miveld. It's in fact, it's to the edge of the area on the thigh of the Coalville player. Now it's to the left hand side of the box. Nice little play there by the number 16 Ryan Robbins. Gave it back to Miveld, who, well, I don't know if it was a shot or a cross. He bent the ball towards the back post, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Well, Paul Chow very nearly getting in there. Scored in every round of the FA Vase this year. 28 goals this season, 12 of them coming in this competition. BBC Newcastle's reporter Paul Dixon is pitch side. Paul, it was almost comedy from Coalville. Dreadful defending. Whitley Bay nearly in.
Well, there were Matthew, yes, and Paul Chow, who we've seen very little of, but it's Barry Sears there, he's a predator, and he had a chance.
Now Whitley Bay come forward, nice little ball on by Robinson. Here is a chance. McFarlane cutting inside and goes for goal with his left foot, and he had players better placed as well. Nice ball forward. Paul Robinson helped it on, and Robson gave it to McFarlane, and he had Lee Kerr on the outside, who he probably should have slotted him in. He would have been clear through on goal. Chow was in the centre, and he had Robinson as well on the left-hand side. Went for it with his unfavoured left foot and skewed it badly wide, Barry.
Unfortunately, the red mist descended with a vengeance then, Matthew. He lashed the ball over the crossbar when he really ought to have played Lee Kerr in, who was in a much better position.
Paul, how did you view that one? A very good chance for Whitley Bay there, but players better placed than McFarlane to score. And if Paul Dixon can hear me, we'll go back to him, who's pitch side for BBC Newcastle as Gary Ormston wins a free kick. Bit of afters there between him and Ryan Robbins, the Coalville Town left-sided player today. So
he's caused problems, Matthew, right from the outset. They've got to get to grips with him because he's a dangerous player and he's been their most potent force.
26 minutes gone at Wembley, 0-0 in the FA Vase final between Coalville and the Holders. Whitley Bay, BBC Newcastle radio for the North East. Yeah, an explosive player, Ryan Robbins, and probably been their main threat alongside Murdoch and Moore up front, who have got a lot of goals between them this season. Now on the edge of the area, Whitley Bay just about to keep hold of the ball. Lee Kerr wins it and switches the ball wide right. McFarlane goes past his man, great skills. McFarlane, can he pull it back? Slides it in, chance for Whitley Bay, and they take the lead. And it's Paul Chow, the man who scored after 21 seconds here at Wembley last year, has scored now in his third consecutive FA Vase final, and the Seahorses take the lead after 27 minutes here at Wembley. Good ball out to the right by Lee Kerr, brought down beautifully by Craig McFarlane, put it one side of his man and went the other, and then slid the ball across goal in that corridor of uncertainty between goalkeeper and defender, and Paul Chow was on hand just to slide the ball in with his right foot. And as he did last year, Paul Chow scores at the goal away from the Whitley Bay fans, but he ran towards them, he ran towards the bench, slid on his knees and celebrated with his manager and the rest of the teammates. But Whitley Bay, after a shaky and uncertain start, have the lead here at Wembley. 28 minutes gone in this FA Vase final. Paul Chow's goal means it's Whitley Bay 1, Coalville Town 0.
Beautifully constructed goal, Matthew, as you described it. Lee Kerr's crossfield ball picked out Craig McFarlane. He did ever so well to get past his man and play the ball low across the face of the goal, and Paul Chow, the silent predator at the far post, swept it into the net, albeit against the run of play, though Whitley have been coming back into it. It took him 21 seconds last year, it's taken him 27 minutes this year, but he's done it again. He's put Whitley in the lead, and a snapshot at the other end of the field watched anxiously past the post by Terry Burke, but that surely will settle Whitley Bay down now. I think, you know, Matthew, we talked about the Coalville and the occasion and it being their first final here and whether it would get to them. It certainly didn't. I wonder whether in the early stages especially, Whitley had this business of the third successive final very much in their minds, and there it was who were affected by the occasion. Thankfully they've now got a goal and that should settle them down.
Whitley Bay 1, Coalville Town 0. BBC Newcastle's Paul Dixon is pitch side. Dicker, the goal that they needed. They probably don't deserve it, but we're thankful for it.
We'll take every goal they want to give us, Matthew, and that was a wonderful goal by Paul Chow. It's incredible. 3 finals, 3 goals. They're going wild down here, the Whitley Bay fans, and they needed it. They needed that goal because this is a good team they're playing, Coalville. But you can't write. I just said Paul Chow didn't have many touches of the ball. He's had a touch there, and it's in the back of the net.
BBC Newcastle radio for the North East. Whitley Bay have given themselves an advantage here in this FA Vase final. It's Paul Chow scored in every round of the competition this season. Coalville line a shot up from the edge of the area. Now a ball into the box and a bit of uncertainty. Whitley Bay get it clear. They just smash it anywhere. It goes out for a throw in. Coalville again there, Barry, just causing 1 or 2 problems. They're clearly looking to respond and respond quickly. Now here's Robbins on the left-hand side. They keep possession. Might look to take on. McFarlane does, plays it off him, and Coalville win a corner.
Yes, they responded well, and once again it's that man Robbins on the left side of the field who's been the most potent creative force. He once again showed that he can get past his man, and he won the corner on that occasion, which will now be swung in right-footed from the Coalville left-hand side of the field.
Lee Miveld with the corner for Coalville. It's towards the penalty spot. Terry Burke comes, punches, edge of the area, volley at goal. 3 Whitley Bay players throw themselves at it and block the shot, and it goes out for a throw-in. Nervy moments again at the Whitley Bay penalty area. Throw-in is taken. It's right on the byline. Gareth Williams clears the cross, and Coalville have another throw.
Very important that Whitley weather this mini storm from Coalville. Having established the lead, they've now got to make sure that they maintain it until things settle down again, and perhaps a little bit of the steam goes out of the Coalville fight back.
Gary Ormston just lets that throw in run out for a goal kick to Whitley Bay. We said, Barry, didn't we, that Coalville, when they were on top early on in the game, needed to score. It was all right having the pressure and starting the better, but as you say always in football, when you're on top, you have to take your chances, you have to score. They didn't, and they've been punished as we suspected that they might be.
Yeah, but they still look very much a force that are in this game, Matthew, and Whitley can't afford to relax. They've got to keep their focus and their concentration. The game's not won yet by any manner of means.
Whitley Bay leading 1-0 after 32 minutes here at Wembley. BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Paul Chow with a goal, an FA Vase legend, no doubt about it. 13 goals in the competition this year, scored in every single round. McFarlane, who did so well to create that goal for Whitley Bay, just can't keep the ball in on this near right-hand side, just in front of the Coalville dugout. Their manager starting to get a little bit more animated there. He's been in that technical area for the first half hour of the game, Barry. He's been there all the way through, but now he's looking, as I say, a bit more animated, a bit more anxious. Coalville help it forward. Miveld tries to play it, looking for the run there over Anthony Carney, but he's fouled, and it will be a free kick around about 35 yards out, slightly left of centre, probably too far out for a shot. We'll have a couple of players over it. I think they'll probably float this one in, and we talked about height. They've got I suppose that their back line is quite big. The 2 centre-backs and the right-back are probably their tallest players. Stewart, the left-back, who will take it with his left foot, I think. Callum Woodward's over it as well, the number 7 with his right. He runs away. It will be Stewart with the left towards the back post. It's deep. It'll be headed down, and it's then turned in. And Coalville Town have equalised. No, the flag is up. The flag is up. The celebration's premature because the flag is up. I think the ball may have gone out of play, you know, and Whitley Bay start very quickly, and they'll come forward themselves. We'll describe what happened. Is another great run from McFarlane. Gains a lot of ground for Whitley Bay. Coalville will just see that one out of play for a goal kick. Well, drama there because they thought they'd equalised the side from Leicestershire. Nice ball in from Stewart round the back. It was headed down into the ground, over the head, bounced over the head of Terry Burke, and then got someone on the line. I think it was Matt Moore who maybe headed it over the line if it wasn't already over. I think the first header came from Ashley Brown, the captain, but the linesman very quick with a flag. Barrow, you spotted it as well, and clearly saying that the ball had gone out of play and was headed back in. So Whitley Bay survive as Robinson looks for Paul Chow. Let's go pitch side to Paul Dixon, who's closer to that goal mouth than we are. Paul, what was your view of that?
Well, the flag was up early, Matthew, but again a threat from Coalville with long balls into the box, and the big centre half there, he was a foot above everybody. I'm not really sure what the linesman give for the infringement.
Now a ball forward, Lee Kerr in behind. Kerr with a great chance for 2-0. Oh, it just drags it wide, and Chow was in there as well. If he'd only squared it, Chow would have had another tap in and could have made it 2-0. Great play in the midfield. They worked it so well. The clear switching of position between Robinson and Kerr has really been the catalyst for this upturn in Whitley Bay's performance in this latter part of the second half. But ball through for Lee Kerr by Robinson, in on goal. Just needed to drive it more. He sort of dragged it wide. He could even have squared it, as I said, for Chow, and it went wide of the post. As now Coalville win a free kick, and they're not happy about that one. Let's go pitch side to Paul Dixon. You were describing the disallowed goal, and nearly another goal for Whitley Bay.
Well, it was a good chance for Lee Kerr. I think he'll be bitterly disappointed that he hasn't hit the target, and I think he should have scored. And Coalville attacking here, Callum Anderson getting a yellow card, but the boy he's up against, he's a good centre forward. He's strong, he holds the ball up well. He's got to be careful now on a yellow card.
So free kick to Coalville. The cheers from the Coalville fans who are sat in front of us in the commentary position here at Wembley. Whitley Bay leading 1-0 on BBC Newcastle. 10 minutes to the break. Woodward with a free kick 25 yards out, deep to the back post again. Burke comes, this time it's header, and it's just wide. And again, it was the same routine, wasn't it? This time, though, an in-swinging ball rather than an out-swinger, but angled to Whitley Bay's left. Clearly, they're looking to exploit the advantage in height there. And round the back again, Ashley Brown with a header. And that one just flashed across the face of goal, whereas the previous one went over the line and just bounced wide of the post. But Whitley Bay surviving. But that's clearly, as I said, Barry, an area that Coalville are looking to exploit, and it's bringing them some fortune, if not a goal.
Every time they put the ball into the Whitley Bay box from a set piece, whether it's a corner on the right or the left or a free kick, they've caused problems. Partly because Whitley are not dealing with the ball in terms of their central defenders, but also because Terry Burke is not having the best of afternoons so far, it has to be said, and he has been indecisive, and his decision making hasn't always been as good as it should have been. So there is still constant danger whenever the opportunity presents itself for a set-piece ball into the Whitley Bay box. They've got to learn to deal with it better.
Paul Dixon, another close shave for Whitley Bay there.
A really big let-off there. Barry's right, they're just out jumping him from set pieces. I wouldn't be surprised if Ian Chandler gets David Coulson or Brian Smith on in the second half. Can't carry on with this. Every time they're getting a free kick or a corner, it's just pressure.
Robbins with a ball forward. Sliding challenge there by Craig McFarlane. Sorry, it was Callum Anderson that time, the man on a yellow card. He'll have to be careful. Slid in on Matt Moore, the number 9, and Coalville have a throw, which they take. Ball down to Miveld, into Moore in the penalty area. Back to goal, 2 Whitley Bay players on him. Gary Ormston does really well. Nicks the ball off him and comes away with it. And then finds Paul Robinson as well on halfway. Good tackle and used the ball well too. Robson, the captain for Whitley Bay today, beaten off it, muscled off it by 2 Coalville players. And now Goodby, the centre-back, plays it to Stewart off the shins there of Craig McFarlane. And a throw to the not the visitors, well, they're both visitors, aren't they? I keep calling them visitors, mainly because Whitley Bay have been here so often.
Well, Barry, Whitley Bay almost regard it as their second home, Matthew, you're right, but they're not playing like the home side here this afternoon. They're not being allowed to because they're being tested, there's no question about that, by this Coalville side.
But a great atmosphere here inside Wembley, and we think a crowd surely around about the 10,000 mark. Coalville line up a throw long from Goodby into the penalty area. Hits the shins of a Whitley Bay player, and then a shot on goal. It hits the post, does it? And then back into the hands of Terry Burke.
What a let-off.
Well, another massive let-off for Whitley Bay. They've got a player down. I think it's Gareth Williams. The long throw into the box, it was flicked on. It hit the shins of Darren Timmins, and then Moore, with the effort, just bent it at goal, and it bounced off the post. Terry Burke beaten, and then rolled back into the very, very grateful arms of the Whitley Bay goalkeeper. But how Coalville aren't at least 2 or 3 up on Whitley Bay in this game is absolutely beyond me. Paul Dixon, I think you heard him say there, what a chance. This is incredible. They're going to be punished for this profligacy, Coalville.
Well, they are, Matthew, and I mean Terry Burke there, look behind him, and I was right behind the ball there. I thought it was in the corner of the net, hit the post and come back. A massive let-off for Whitley Bay. I mean, they've got to defend, they've got to hang on really to half-time, and I would think Ian Chandler, Steve Cookie will be looking to change the personnel in the back. I think they've got to, but Terry Burke, he's having a tough afternoon this afternoon.
As we said, half-time will allow Whitley Bay the chance to regroup, but they do lead at 1-0 here at Wembley, this fantastic arena for football, and a good crowd and a cracking atmosphere here for this FA Vase final. Whitley Bay looking to make history, to win the competition for the 4th time and the 3rd year in a row as well. Over the top by Coalville, played by Ashley Brown, the captain, with over 400 games for the club. Pounder slices a clearance from the edge of his own area with his weaker right foot. Anderson does well to head clear, and now Pounder with a better ball forward there. Just too much on it for Paul Chowdle. Run to the keeper, who passes it short to Costello, the centre-back, operating from the right-hand side for Coalville, headed down by Timmins for Whitley Bay. Pounder tries a little cross turn on the edge of his area, not that sort of position to be playing in, and Coalville just about keep it. Oh, they can't keep it in there, they lose it, but Whitley Bay lucky again because Pounder just tried to let it run across his body in a fancy little turn away from Matt Moore.
Can't defend like that in that third like that. It's suicidal, that, isn't it, what he's done there, Pounder?
The problem we've got here is that Whitley haven't built on the goal. They took the lead against the run of play, but that didn't settle them down in the way that we expected that it might. They've still been under pressure whenever Coalville have come forward. Coalville have had much more of the ball than Whitley since the goal went in, and the midfield and the front runners for Whitley Bay are not able to have the kind of impact they want. The back four are under too much pressure.
Listen to BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Reminder, reaction tomorrow morning from Wembley, and Alfie and Charlie at breakfast, and Total Sport tomorrow night from 5:30. Reaction, of course, to all of yesterday's action in the Premier League and the Rugby Union Premiership as well, where the Newcastle Falcons avoided relegation. Coalville come forward. They just tread on the ball there. Anthony Carney on the right-hand side. Forward by Brown, little header up in the air there by Woodward. It's going to drop now, and a volley at goal, which just dips over the bar, skims the roof of the net on the way down as well by Callum Woodward rather, as the ball dropped there again. Just far too much time, no pressure on it, and that was a lovely dipping volley. Had he been a yard further back, that would have gone in. Caught it really, really well with his left foot. He'd have been dreaming of seeing the net bulge there, but it just, as I say, clipped the roof of Terry Burke's net as it went behind. But you know, I've lost count of the number of chances that Coalville have had in this first half, Barry. It's quite ridiculous, but the main statistic, the one that we care about most, is Whitley Bay lead 1-0, and here's McFarlane again, the man who created the goal, coming forward to the edge of the area. Good strong sliding challenge though by Miveld in midfield, and now they come forward through Woodward. Lee Kerr bites in with a challenge, and the referee gives a free kick against Whitley Bay, and I'm not too sure that that's the right decision there, because Kerr seemed to get plenty of the ball.
Matthew, I think it was the foul before that the referees pulled him back for.
He's clearly waiting for an advantage and decided that the one there wasn't big enough, and then the claims of a penalty from Coalville. A player goes down in the box there, Jerome Murdoch, and that looked suspiciously like a trip there. It was the number 4, Darren Timmins, for Whitley Bay there, who went for the ball with Murdoch. He got there and seemed to take a tumble. He went down, looked as if he'd been caught, but the referee immediately just signalled absolutely nothing and play on. And now Robinson to chase the ball over the top. Paul, what was your view of that? As soon as I saw it, my heart was in my mouth. I thought penalty, but thankfully the referee said otherwise.
That was a let-off there, Matthew, a real let-off. I think that could have been a penalty easily.
We will try and see if we can get a replay as Coalville have it on the edge of the area. Here's Woodward again, now right to Robbins, room for the cross to Moore. It beats him, it'll come for Carney, plays it back into the box. Now here come Whitley Bay, they can bring it forward. Bit of time to play the ball out of danger. Here's the captain Robson, but he loses out though. It'll come to McFarlane, however, and he switches a nice ball to Pounder on the left-hand side. 2 minutes to half-time. BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. Whitley Bay leading 1-0 in this FA Vase final. Sliding challenge there by Costello on Paul Robinson, and a strong challenge. They won the ball, and here come Coalville again, the Leicestershire side. Murdoch, edge of the area, skipping away. Here's a chance, a shot that's blocked by Gareth Williams. Now it comes out. Here's Woodward again, free on the edge of the area, trying to chip the keeper, got his angles all wrong there, completely fluffed his lines. But this onslaught just hasn't stopped from minute one.
Whitley Bay just not pressing the ball enough in midfield and on the edge of their penalty area. They're standing off and letting Coalville...
Barry, where are the midfield? That's my question.
Well, that's a good question, because you've got Kerr and Robinson, not either of them sure whether they're playing up front or playing in midfield, and the consequence is that there are not sufficient bodies in midfield and they're being overrun.
Well, Lee Kerr seems to be quite deep a lot of the time. He almost seems to be playing as a holding midfielder. I'm sure he's got more of a free role, but now here's Paul Chow over the top for Robinson. If it bounces, he might be in. Robinson heads down. Chance for Chow for 2. Chow just lifts it over the bar. Oh, it was a wonderful opportunity as well. And again, Whitley Bay breaking with pace and purpose. Chow over the top for Robinson. Difficult ball to control. He let it bounce and then managed to hook it back over to the right to Chow, who carried on his run under pressure from defender and keeper, and then just lifted it over the onrushing Sean Bowles, but over the bar as well. And if they'd got a second before half-time, it would have been probably the most undeserved lead in a Wembley final since this stadium was rebuilt. It remains 1-0, but Barry, that was a big chance.
But evidence, Matthew, that if you can get the ball forward, you can put pressure on this defence. They did it once and scored a goal. They did it again then, almost scored a second, but they haven't been able to do it often enough. They've been shaky and indecisive at the back. They've been missing in midfield, and the front runners and Paul Chow in particular, who can win the match for them, have been starved of service, and there will, I suspect, be some harsh words and some hard thinking in the Whitley Bay dressing room at half-time. They're leading by 1-0. We're grateful for that, but certainly on the first half performance, Coalville will count themselves extremely unfortunate, at the very least not to be on level terms.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see a very, very different Whitley Bay in this second half. Listen to BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. 1-0 to Whitley at half-time. Paul Chow with the goal after 28 minutes. We're off and underway for the second half live at Wembley as Whitley Bay go in search of a fourth FA Vase success and a third in 3 years. Ball forward, looking for Paul Robinson. They've stuck with Robinson and Chow up front, and Lee Kerr occupying a central midfield role. Bit of a free roll, I think, for Lee Kerr. As we said, sometimes he drops deep, sometimes he's the one bursting from the middle to join the front man as Coalville play it long forward. No changes for them at half-time. I'll run through the two teams in full when we get a break in play. David Pounder, though, for Whitley Bay, tries to clear it, hits the back of Matt Moore, the number 9. I think could just be the way that they've lined up. Looks possibly like a 4-4-2 with Anderson at right back and Pounder at left back. In terms of the rest of the side, probably McFarlane on the right and Gary Ormston on the left. I think that looks like how they've started this second half. Here's Coalville on the edge of the box, ball played back and then a shot in, which is blocked. Claims of handball against David Pounder. Referee says no. Now forward up to Murdoch on the edge of the box, slips it inside, chance for Coalville and a shot which is saved by Terry Burke, and an important save as well by the Whitley Bay goalkeeper. Well, nice ball inside, in behind by Murdoch, little reverse pass. There was Ryan Robbins, the danger man from the first half, and Terry Burke came out of his goal quickly and got something on it to divert the ball behind for a goal kick. He shot across the keeper, and that was an important hand by Terry Burke. Corner from the right taken by Coalville, it's towards the back post and then a volley into the ground and behind, goes out for a goal kick. But Terry Burke, we said he'd had a nervy first half, starting the second half in a positive and strong and confident manner with an important save.
It was an excellent save, to be fair. He got down well and he got a good strong hand on it, otherwise it would have been a goal. And it's already Coalville calling the tune again.
Has got a Paul Dixon who's pitch side. Paul very nearly 1-1.
Very nearly, and a good save by Terry Burke. Ian Chandler, Steve Cookie got the subs out already, warming up.
Here come Coalville again with a dangerous ball into the box.
And I think there'll be a substitution soon. I think he needs to enhance that defence.
Yeah, Chandler arms folded in the technical area in his tracksuit top. Now throw from Coalville into the penalty area. Man at his back is Moore there trying to turn away. Pounder will get an opportunity to clear and does so left-footed up towards halfway. Steve Cookie there with his arms folded in the area as well. Ian Chandler just made almost a signal for a substitution. He's got David Coulson, Brian Smith and Brian Rowe warming up down in front of us here.
Oh, I see it.
Poor attempt at a clearance, but they get a free kick, Whitley Bay. Well, again, very, very lucky to get away with what was, I don't want to say comical, but it was strange defending there. Timmins, maybe he got a shove as he went to clear it, but it was just a complete air shot. He missed the ball and it fell through Ryan Robbins. He hit a shot wide, but a free kick, luckily, for Whitley Bay. One thing they have been, I think, in this game so far, the opening 49 minutes, of which they lead the final 1-0, is fortunate. It's a Whitley Bay throw-in, just inside their own half. Nice little flick on there by Ormston. Robinson beaten in the air, but headed out of play, and Whitley Bay will have a throw-in. They're now attacking the end of the goal, which doesn't quite have their fans behind it. They don't spill out and stretch that far into the stand behind the goal, but they are at that end of the field. Now here's Pounder. Nice little clip ball for Robinson. Just too much on it, and Coalville can clear and they can turn away on halfway through Murdoch. And then a foul, and Whitley Bay will get a free kick. And the referee, Scott Matheson, going to produce a card here, I think. It'll be
Matthew, the referee, is going to book
Murdoch. Yes, Jerome, the number 10, just trying to work out which Coalville player it was. He gets a yellow card. The trouble with Coalville's front three, Robbins, Moore and Murdoch, is they all look absolutely the same. They're about the same height, and they've all got fairly shiny boots on as well, and when all three of them are near the ball, it's quite difficult to work out which one. But Murdoch, the number 10, is booked. Free kick into the area by Whitley Bay. Headed down, claims of handball by 3 or 4 of the Whitley Bay players there, as the ball ran through to Sean Bowles in the Coalville goal. He clears over halfway. Whitley Bay lead at 1-0. You listen to BBC Newcastle live at Wembley. Stewart for Coalville, up to Robbins for the first time, I think, all day. His touch lets him down. and can't keep the ball in on the far right-hand side, or left-hand side as Coalville attack. A couple of Whitley Bay subs now make their way back towards the bench. David Coulson, one of them, and I think
Brian Rowe, one
of the Bryans, trying to work out which one. 4 centre-halves on the bench for Whitley Bay. We'll see if there's any movement in terms of substitutions. Now Stewart forward for Coalville, intercepted by Callum Anderson and Ormston with the ball for Pounder, but he's beaten to it there, and Coalville can come forward now with number 7 Woodward. Tries to play a ball in. Good block by Pounder in the end. Made up for the earlier error. Now they have it again with Woodward, but lose out on the edge of the area. Anthony Carney, the number 11, just could try to take on one blue and white shirt too many. The number 2 Ashley Brown, the captain, down the line. Here's Ormston, right in his own corner flag there. Plays it to Pounder, who was on the receiving end of a strong challenge there by Murdoch, who's already been booked and just a few minutes ago received that yellow card. Pounder's all right. He got up, got to the ball first, made the important clearance, wins a throw-in, but that took a hefty knock. Steve Cuggy and Ian Chandler, the Whitley Bay assistant manager and manager, have a word with each other away to our left there.
What's happening on the pitch, Matthew, is that in the second half already, Coalville have been quicker to the ball in almost every situation than Whitley Bay. Whether Whitley Bay have got tired legs because they've played a lot of games towards the end of this season, I don't know what the answer to it is, but certainly they're not as quick and as sharp as you would have expected. But they are on the attack. By
Ormston. Kerr with a good ball to Chow on the edge of the area. Oh, Chow, if he'd just been able to slip it through, McFarlane would have been in. Robson to keep it alive. Plays it down the line for McFarlane, but it's
careless
just
ball.
Out of play, isn't it? Tried to play it round the corner, and McFarlane just couldn't keep it in the end. But a nice little break. Sorry to interrupt you, Barry, because Kerr brought it down well and floated a ball across the box to Paul Chow and brought it down nicely. Oh, and nearly a mistake there, and then a loose back pass across the face of his own goal by Cameron Stewart. Just mishit the ball. He was the one who nearly let Paul Chow in earlier on. Clearly, if you put him under pressure, then his touch might let you in. Now flick on there by Moore, and then that's a clear shove in the back there on Darren Timmins, and possibly a flying arm as well from Matt Moore. Well, flicked on there by Murdoch, and Moore challenging with Timmins. Timmins let the ball bounce over his head and run through to the keeper, and Moore, I think he lashed out at Darren Timmins there.
He certainly pushed him, Matthew.
To be fair, Timmins got up and didn't make anything of it, but certainly there was an arm that flew towards Darren Timmins. It didn't seem to make too much contact, but if it had, then could have been nasty. And now Pounder loses the ball, and Kerr slides in and will be booked, I think, for this challenge. The Whitley Bay number 9, the referee having a word with 2 players. I think that's Gareth Williams and Matt Moore, the number 9. 30 goals this season for Coalville Town as they romped to their title in the Midland Alliance League, scoring 153 goals on the way, which is a quite incredible record. Now a ball in behind for Brown, the captain. Can he keep it in? He can't. Oh, if he'd only maybe had a little bit more pace. He was a few years younger, he might have got to that one. It was a nice little spin and ball in behind by Anthony Carney, and Brown was away there. We thought their FA Vase know-how would have really seen them through, but it's Coalville who are still the stronger and coming forward. Ormston does well though for Whitley Bay, the former concert man. That's good play. Wins the ball and gives it to Robson, who tried to find Robinson on the right-hand side, but Coalville again pick it up, and 2 or 3 white shirts always seem to be on every blue and white player who has the ball. And now here's Stewart, the left back. Ball inside, it's loose, and it's picked up by Lee Kerr. I don't think he got a yellow card in the end, Barry, did he?
He didn't.
Didn't see one brandished by the referee, and Kerr it is who smacks the ball clear, and it is out of play, bang on halfway on that far side in front of the M2 red seats at Wembley. Unlike most stadiums that you see, though, the red seats are staying red and they're not staying pink. The Wembley absolute picture. It's a beautiful place to play football. No better ground, I think it's fair to say. Now a nice ball into the box by Stewart. Header from Moore, great save by Burke, but he can't keep it out. And Coalville Town level this game up. The fans in front of us go absolutely mental. Matt Moore with his 31st goal of the season. A throw-in taken by Coalville on halfway, given to Cameron Stewart, the left back. A super ball in pace and curl on the cross with his left foot, and there was Moore, who again got between two Whitley Bay centre-halves, headed it down straight at Terry Burke. He got hands on it, he got quite a strong hand on it in fact, but he couldn't keep it out, and the ball trickled over the line, definitely over, and Coalville Town level this game up. There's the cross from Stewart, header from Moore straight at Burke, but just too much power on it, and Whitley Bay couldn't keep it out, and the side from Leicestershire in their first FA Vase final level this game up, and boy have we got a game on now here at Wembley. 57 minutes played at Wembley, Barry. Coalville Town 1, Whitley Bay 1, and as you say, very definitely coming, and no more than they deserve, as Whitley Bay come forward themselves. Header clear, oh, nearly dropped for Robinson, might come for Ormston, the keeper's off his line. Coalville knock it clear again, they're looking for a goal. That's handball by Moore, the goal scorer. Definite handball as he tried to control. Sorry Barry to cut you off, but this game has really got some life about it now, but a goal they deserve. And now here's Paul Chow in the Whitley Bay area, tries to flick a header at goal, and a goal kick. Finally we get a break, Barry, but 1-1.
Well, the goal was deserved, the equaliser was deserved, because Coalville certainly on the first 45 minutes didn't deserve to be behind, and they started the second half with the same kind of determination that they'd showed throughout the first. But to be fair, it was a very good goal, superb cross as you said from the left, and the centre forward, who's been troublesome to the Whitley defence all afternoon, got between the central defenders, and he gave Terry Burke no chance, because he was only a couple of yards from goal when he powered the header in. So 1-1 and all to play for.
Whitley Bay lose the ball on halfway. Coalville have a throw in. Let's go pitch side to Paul Dixon as Whitley Bay look like they're preparing a change. Paul, a deserved equaliser for Coalville.
Well, Matthew, they need to make changes, because I think there's people out there, it's a FA Vase final, people will give their right arm to play there, they're just going through the motions. I mean, you've got to give credit to Coalville, they deserve that goal, but Whitley Bay, let's see if they've got the character, what we talk about, to come back and see if they can win this Vase.
Here's Carney cutting inside, trying to find room for the shot on his left. Look, flicks the ball through there, might be too strong for Robbins. Yes it is, I tell you what, if he pulled the trigger. The attendance today, 8,778. The reason though you can hear the Coalville fans making most of the noise is because they are directly in front of us and around us here in the commentary position at Wembley. The Whitley Bay fans, as they were last year, away to our left, as Coalville lose out, and now Whitley can maybe come forward. Here goes McFarlane on a run down the right hand side. Nice ball towards the penalty area, but it was just a little bit too flat, and it hit the heels of Zach Costello, Coalville centre half, but Whitley win it back again on halfway, and there's a ball by Robinson now, and here he goes and gets the return ball. Robinson, two in the box, Kerr and Chow. Can he find room for the cross? Does well to make room. Little flick header from Kerr. It's in for Whitley Bay, and it's Lee Kerr who restores their advantage here at Wembley. And just as Paul Chow did, Whitley Bay's number 9 scores in an FA Vase final at Wembley 3 years running, and they've got the lead again. Well, it was all down to fantastic work on the right hand side from Paul Robinson. He got the ball in a good position on the edge of the box, tried to take his man on, cut back inside onto his left, then cut back outside onto his right, whipped a ball in towards the near post, and Lee Kerr with a brilliant flicked header across the goalkeeper, and it found the bottom right hand corner. And what, only 4 or 5 minutes after being pegged back in this game, Whitley Bay, the holders, have the advantage. This is a cracking cup final, and in the FA Vase final, Whitley Bay back in front. Lee Kerr's goal, they lead at 2-1, Barry.
Brilliant work by Paul Robinson, as you said, Matthew. He hasn't had the most impressive of afternoons. We thought that he would have been one of the key players this afternoon, because he is a very good midfield player. Hasn't really been in it, flitted in and out of the first half, but he showed his quality there. He turned his man inside out, crossed with his left, and as you say, Lee Kerr was the man on the spot, but it still needed a good finish. It was a very good and a very clever header, and Whitley back in front, and surely now they'll settle down and play their football.
4 minutes after being pegged back by Coalville, Whitley retake the lead. Let's go pitch side to Paul Dixon. Paul, this incredible cup final takes yet another turn. Whitley Bay don't deserve it, but they're in the lead, and by goodness we'll take it.
Wonderful cup tie, you're right, Matthew. And I just said people need to run about and do a little bit, and Paul Robinson, as Barry said, showed all his class there. But what a wonderful header, just beat the goalkeeper. So that's Paul Chow and Lee Kerr, 3 years running, scored 3 goals at Wembley. Phenomenal.
Let's just hope that they're scoring in 3 successive FA Vase final wins, and now maybe Whitley Bay can actually assert themselves on this game, because the 2 goals they've scored completely against the run of play, both nice tidy goals, both good work down the right hand side as Coalville come forward and win a throw in front of David Coulson, who's warming up for Whitley Bay. No changes by the Seahorses. Ian Chandler sticking with a side that started, albeit I think we can say with certainty they are playing 4-4-2 as Coalville come forward, and it from Moore off the bar, bounce down into the ground and back up off the crossbar, and Whitley Bay clearing it over the top, and now Paul Chow could be in behind. He's got Kerr in the box. It's a 2-on-2. Robinson steaming forward as well. Chow just can't get past the first defender, wins the throw in though. Well, again, they just worked it so quickly, just good little movement out of nothing. Ball to Carney into the box, clipped a great ball across the face of goal, and as in the first half when Paul Chow in that position was able to slot the ball home, Matt Moore headed it down into the ground and off the crossbar. Ball into the box now by Whitley Bay, half cleared by Coalville, comes to Pounder, 25 yards out, could have gone for the shot, just played a weak pass and it was cut out. And now the side from Leicestershire, Coalville can come forward on halfway, but Anderson stands strong and stops Robbins getting forward, looks for Chow. Here's Robson captaining the side today for Whitley Bay with Coulson on the bench. Anderson switches it to Pounder. That's better from Whitley Bay, on his chest from Pounder. He's got Robinson hugging this left-hand touchline, gives it to Robinson, who turns away from his man. Can he get to the byline? He can't. It's a sliding challenge, it's a throw-in, but Coalville preparing their first change. I think they're going to bring on number 14, Ashley Wells.
Matthew.
Yes, go for it, Paul Dixon, who's pitch side.
Matthew, that was an absolute sitter. For me, he should have scored. He shouldn't be hitting the ball from the area that he was. He should just head it into the corner of the net. It was a real let-off for Whitley Bay. It should be 2 each.
Pounder with a ball into the box. It's straight to a wide head though, and now Robbins gets height rather than distance on his second attempt at a clearance. Cover then knock it long, and they'll have a run on here. Moore will have to chase, and Gareth Williams will have to be quick, but he is quick, and he does really, really well there. The number 5 for Whitley Bay, the former Blythe Spartans man, to turn, not only turn away, clear up to halfway and get rid of some of the danger. Ashley Wells, as you say, Paul, number 14, high fives with the manager. Adam Stevens for Coalville, and the change comes now, and it's going to be number 16, Ryan Robbins, to come off. Well, very much their standout player in the first half, Barry Heinsohn, but he's replaced by Wells, who's got 10 goals this season for Coalville, all in the league, 10 out of 153 he got for them in the league this season, and he's on, and Ryan Robbins is off, so midfielder for midfielder. But
that's a surprise though, Matthew, because he's been a thorn in Whitley's defensive side all afternoon. And the other problem that Whitley Bay are having, Matthew, is that down this left-hand side, David Pounder's having a really torrid time of it. He's not getting the grips with his man at all. He's just headed a weak header down there and failed to clear a situation, and it's being exploited by Coalville, and they've got to tighten up. They've got now the bit between their teeth and making ground down this right-hand side yet again.
Come forward, ball into the box, important, brave header clear, and then a volley on goal, sliced completely wide there by Coalville. A change, 2 changes for Whitley Bay, 25 minutes left. The Bay lead at 2-1. Paul Chow and Lee Kerr, goals that they probably don't deserve. Coalville have been in complete control, and the subs, Paul Dixon, you're nearer, you tell us. It looks like Coulson and
Brian
Smith
and David Coulson ready to come on. It'll be very interesting to see who comes off, but Smith and Coulson coming on in this FA Vase final.
So 2 of the 4 centre-backs named on the bench for Whitley Bay to come on. They'll come on, I think, before this goal kick's taken by Terry Burke. You are listening to BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport. This absorbing, this engrossing FA Vase final. David Pounder, the first player to come off, the left back, starting his first FA Vase final at Wembley, joined in the summer from Concert. An important player for the club this season, 6 goals, played over 50 times. He's off, and it's Brian Smith who comes on, so I wonder how they'll rejig things there. We will wait and see. And number 6 replaces number 5, Gareth Williams, a man who played against Blackburn Rovers and Bournemouth for Blythe Spartans 2 seasons ago in the FA Cup. Is replaced by David Coulson, the captain, injured last year. Heartbreak as he missed the FA Vase final, but lifted the trophy for the Seahorses in 2009. So Coalville making 1 change, Whitley Bay making 2, and Paul, a former Whitley Bay manager and assistant manager, Paul Dixon, how do you assess the changes? How do you think they'll line up now?
Well, I mean, they've gone like for like. I mean, Coulson and Smith will just sit there and defend for their life, and they'll have to do that. I mean, how long have we got left? 23 minutes. They'll have to play a big part if they're going to win this FA Vase final this afternoon, Matthew.
The other thing that's happened, Matthew, is that because Pounder's been taken off, and I was just suggesting that perhaps they might do that because he was having a difficult afternoon. They've moved Craig McFarlane across to fill that left back slot, and so the balance of the side slightly changed, but I think the other factor is that the added height of Brian Smith is something that the back four has been crying out for almost since the start of the game.
And of course Craig McFarlane's no slouch as well, is quick, and we've seen Coalville break with purpose down there right. Now in the box, here's a chance for Murdoch. It's cleared. Kerr with a little pirouette on the edge of the area and gets it away to Robinson. Man at his back. Was he fouled? Play on, says the referee. Coalville win it back, but the referee brings it back for the foul initially on Paul Robinson, and Whitley can get their foot on the ball and take a bit of time over this. Well, 2 changes, and Brian Smith playing in an FA Vase final. Nice for him, a popular figure at Whitley Bay, and I think we're all pleased to see David Coulson on the pitch as well. He'll have been absolutely heartbroken that he wasn't selected for the starting lineup today, but those two on.
I don't think there's any sentiment in it, though,
no,
Matthew.
Of course not. No,
it's done purely in terms of what the situation demands.
It's what they needed to do. It's what you and Paul Dixon, our pitchside reporter on BBC Newcastle, said they probably needed to do from the first few minutes of this game. Ball forward by Coalville. They get a look at the bounce though, and here goes Murdoch to the byline, tries to pull it back in the area. Chance still not clear. Shot on goal. Fantastic save. One-handed by Terry Burke to divert the ball over the bar and behind for a corner. It was Moore actually who got away down the left-hand side. Him and Murdoch spun away. Moore got to the byline. A sliding challenge there by Anderson. Moore got the better of him though. Pulled it back for Murdoch. Let it run onto his right. Bends it towards the top left-hand corner. But Terry Burke, as he did in the opening moments of this second half, a fantastic one-handed save to deny Coalville. Now the corner from the right-hand side. In swinger, flat and cleared out for a throw by Whitley Bay. Terry Burke in the second half has made 2 important saves to keep Whitley Bay in this. I know they lead, but at the time that he made the first save, particularly, Barry, it was all Coalville.
It was a stunning save, that one, Matthew. It really was. And the worrying thing was that Murdoch was unmarked on the edge of the penalty area when the ball was pulled back from him, and he had time to put the ball where he did, almost into the top corner, and it was only that sparkling diving save from Burke that kept the ball out. So once again, defensive tightening up still to be done despite the substitutions.
Final 20 minutes of this FA Vase final 2011, live from Wembley on BBC Newcastle. Whitley Bay lead 2-1, and Coalville make a right hash of an attempted header clear. It was Adam Goodby just went to head it and completely missed it, but it flicked, I think, off his shoulder, and Whitley Bay have a throw in deep inside Coalville territory. They'll take it. It goes back to Timmins into the box, header up in the air there by Smith it is, and now Chow to put it back into the box, plays it off the defender. No, he didn't. In fact, it just miscued it, and I thought he played it off the defender, but hard to see from the angle we're at. It's a goal kick to Coalville anyway. Let's go pitch side to Paul Dixon, because we talked before the game about the decision that Whitley Bay had to make in terms of their goalkeeper. They went with Terry Burke, his experience over the youthful Kyle Hayes, who's done so well for them this season. But after a few shaky moments in the first half, Terry Burke, 2 important saves in the second half, Paul.
Two brilliant saves, and it might be the last either, Matthew. I mean, we've got 20 minutes to go, and I think with Smith and Coulson on and with Burke behind him, they'll have to work very, very hard, because this Coalville team aren't finished yet. They're fighting, running, working hard, and there's a long, long way to go yet. And I think Terry Burke and the back four will have to work extremely hard to keep the score down to 2-1.
You do not want to go anywhere. Stay with us on BBC Newcastle. Final 18 minutes of normal time here at Wembley in the FA Vase final. Whitley Bay on the verge of history, trying to win this competition for the 3rd year in a row and the 4th time in total. They have a throw-in which McFarlane, who's moved from the right to the left, will take. Former Bedlington Terriers man gets another opportunity as Coalville headed out of play. Looks for Chow. Header on there by Costello, and now Murdoch tries to release the substitute Ashley Wells. Can't do so. Whitley clear, but again it just goes straight to a white shirt. This time Stewart, who put in that super cross for their equaliser. Real quality ball with the his left foot, which was converted by Moore. But Lee Kerr giving Whitley Bay the lead just 3 minutes after that Coalville equaliser, and the Bay lead 2-1 here at Wembley. Now an angle ball into the box. Moore couldn't get on the end of that, nod down by Murdoch, and they can't keep it in on this right-hand side, and it's a goal kick to Whitley Bay. Carney sliding in, just not enough pace to get there to keep the ball in. Challenge in the air by the Whitley Bay captain Damon Robson, who skippering the side with Coulson on the bench today. Coulson now will challenge in the air with Moore, lets it bounce, gets his body in the way, and then hooks it clear overhead again. Just well in the challenge, strong, and they get it clear, Whitley Bay. Coalville will take a throw in. For the first time in their game, their manager has sort of taken a step back, and he's no longer in the technical area. He's just on the edge of the dugout. Still, he's not sitting down. He's stood up. He's deep in conversation with his coaching staff. But we've seen him out there all game, Barry.
He's certainly been high profile, and he's given his side every encouragement, and his side, to be fair, have done him credit.
Now a ball clipped towards the area by Coalville, headed out by Damon Robson. Towards the back post there, Anderson strong, important header, half cleared. Now Robson to try to complete the job, but he got height rather than distance, and now it's given wide by Miveld to number 14 Wells, the substitute, back to Miveld in midfield, clips it in there. It's going to run all the way through to Terry Burke, and he gathers one of those again, floated in, and you just worry if it gets a touch, it'll catch everybody out, but thankfully bounced once and into the arms of the Whitley Bay keeper, wearing all green, who knocks it long to Paul Chow, wins a flick on, it'll drop for Kerr, gives it to Robinson, right, maybe promising position, man free left, gives it's McFarlane into the area, first touch was heavy, Coalville though knock it behind for a corner to Whitley Bay. That's better.
You see, this is what Whitley Bay are capable of, Matthew. When they do break, they break with pace. There was good, thoughtful, quick thinking football there, danger in the penalty area, and they've won a corner kick.
And it's going to be Damon Robson to come over and take the corner kick, scored the equaliser in the semi-final first leg, really kept alive their hopes of the Wembley final away at Poole Town. Here he comes with a corner from the left, in swinger towards the near post, header all the way up in the air, and hit a white shirt last. I think it was Coulson going in there, challenging at the near post with Costello. Gary Ormston, sorry.
Matthew, the crowd down here going absolutely wild, getting behind Whitley Bay, driving them on. They can smell success.
Here's the corner again from Robson. This time it's a better header clear by Coalville, but Robinson gives it back to Robson. One touch on his right, tries to play it into the box. It got a deflection, and Coalville managed just about to get it clear up to halfway. They do. Here's Moore, the goal scorer, back to the goal. Nice ball in behind, maybe just too much on it though for the on-rushing Carney. It was a nice idea, a nice little turn, but it ran through to Terry Burke in the Whitley Bay goal, and he bounces it a couple of times and then kicks it out of his hands long over halfway. It's going to beat Robinson. Coalville head down through Costello and then have it in midfield through Miveld. Robinson putting them under pressure. Now out to the left back for Coalville, Stewart. Header clear there by Whitley Bay. That time it was Smith with a header clear. And now number 11, Carney, the right winger, getting away from two Whitley Bay shirts. Was he fouled? Gets the ball away to Woodward in the end, but his left-footed shot goes just wide. No real danger in the end there. Pulled his shot quite a distance wide of the post, and Whitley Bay survived. They still lead 2-1, 14 minutes left the game. It seems to have calmed down slightly. I'm sure it will get even more fraught though.
I wish I'd towards the final
couple of minutes. Well, Paul, you're almost in with the Whitley Bay fans. We're just surrounded by Coalville supporters, but you said Whitley Bay in great voice there, and they've certainly brought a huge number, and we'll certainly hear a massive roar at full time if they win now. McFarlane just shows great pace to get away from his man down the right. Left, McFarlane still going to the byline, just tried to slip it through, and in the end didn't really do anything at all, knocked it past his man, and it just ran straight to the keeper.
But he did well to bring the ball out of defence, covered about 60 yards and relieved the pressure. He unfortunately couldn't get his final cross away because the ball ran away from him. But that's the kind of determination they're going to need between now and the final whistle. We're now getting into that part of the game, Matthew, when there'll be tired legs, and it's the people who really want it who'll stand up and be counted.
You just wonder as well, maybe if Whitley Bay had a Chris Fawcett on the bench just to come on and add, maybe a little bit of legs, maybe just someone else to come on in an attacking sense. There's a shot from Coalville, trickles all the way through to Terry Terry Burke in the Whitley Bay goal. Maybe took a slight deflection on the way through that. I think took the sting out of it and gathered it easily by Whitley Bay's veteran goalkeeper. 415th appearance by our reckoning for the club today. A proud moment for him. Third Vase final in 3 years. Coalville in the centre circle have the ball though, and they get it wide to Stewart. And I think as this game edges towards the 90th minute, 12 minutes left of normal time incidentally, we'll see more and more of this Coalville having attack after attack, and Whitley Bay just trying to soak up the pressure and clear when they can. Now Moore on the right edge of the area, ball inside. Oh, if the touch had been better from Brown, the captain, they would have been in. Now they have it again. Number 11, Carney, tries to get away from David Coulson. Coulson holds him up. Carney forced back onto his left to Brown, the captain. He gives it again to Carney, on the edge of the area, skips away there by Coulson, good skills, pulls the ball back, arriving at header, it's beaten everybody, chance for Murdoch with a shot, another save, another fantastic save from Terry Burke. Coalville supporters in front of us, hands on their head, they thought that was in. The cross from Carney, he was patient, got it on his right, on his left and back onto his right, clipped the ball in, Moore couldn't get onto it, flicked it on, it bounced for Murdoch, one touch to kill it, shot at goal, super tip over the bar by Terry Burke, corner comes in, Whitley Bay clear, but only up to halfway, they've got no one forward, Coalville keep it alive, and now Carney in loads of space again, into the area, clips the ball in, chance here, header down, and it's an equaliser, and Coalville Town have levelled this game up again, and their pressure for the second time in the game has told, and the black and white flags in front of us are being waved by their supporters who are jumping up and down. It's a deserved equaliser, and from the initial corner that was cleared, Whitley Bay just had nobody up there, and it eventually was given back to Carney, who was in loads of space and clipped a lovely ball into the box, and it found number 4 Adam Goodby in plenty of space to arrive and head the ball down into the bottom left hand corner. Terry Burke beaten, and he didn't even dive for the ball. Good header from Goodby, and Whitley Bay for the second time in this game have been pegged back. And as we head into the final 10 minutes here on BBC Newcastle in this FA Vase final at Wembley, we really are set up for a tense and exciting and dramatic finish. Whitley Bay 2, Coalville Town 2, and before we get some reaction, here come Whitley again, Robinson in the area, Robinson bends one, oh, it's just over the top right hand corner. He did so well from the kick-off, ball forward, Chow with a flick on Robinson, good control, skipped inside his man and bent it towards the top corner, and just agonisingly over the bar. As you watch the replay,
he'll be disappointed with that, Matthew, Paul Robinson, as he turned his man and he had a great angle to just bend it in the roof of the net there. It's only gone 6 inches over, but he'd be disappointed. He thinks he probably should have scored.
And what about that equaliser from Coalville, Paul?
Well,
they deserve it, don't they?
A wonderful save by Terry Burke. It was like many years ago, Jim Montgomery's in the cup final here. Wonderful save, but he couldn't stop that 4-5 yards out, the header into the corner. But it's what Coalville, I would think, deserve, and they've got the momentum now. Whitley Bay have got to hang on in there now.
This really is an absorbing and fascinating cup final. 9 minutes left. BBC Newcastle, the home of North East sport, live at Wembley, and full commentary of this FA Vase final. 2-2 Barry Heinsohn. We had extra time in the FA Trophy final yesterday. Darlington beat Mansfield in the last minute. This one could go all the way, I think.
Well, it's absolutely poised on the knife edge now, Matthew. That equaliser stunned Whitley Bay, but again, they were outwitted on the flank, and the ball was played in. It was a beautiful cross. It was a good finish, and as Paul says, they can't complain of being 2-2 because Coalville have been behind twice, and each time they've shown great resilience and determination.
And they come again, and Moore's got the legs. He's got the legs on Coulson. Coulson gets back to hold him up. Moore, right edge of the area, cross in. Danger here, header down. It hit a Whitley Bay player. It will be, well, a goal kick. It must have hit a Coalville shirt on the way down. I was certain that Brian Smith got the last touch there. Thankfully, the referee didn't have the same view that I have, and I'm going to go with the referee on that one. Whitley Bay trying to win it for the 3rd year in a row. Here's McFarlane going on another run down the left. Strong challenge, and won the ball there, Carney. And the white shirts of Coalville will bring it clear, and Brown, their captain, a decade at the club, skips away from 2 Whitley Bay players now, and then plays up to Moore. Good first touch, crowded out. A good strong challenge there by Coulson, and now Whitley Bay come forward. McFarlane again, bit of space, but he just has to check. Puts his foot on the ball, gets away from a player in the end and finds Ormston, former concept man, into Lee Kerr, who haven't seen too much of since he scored Whitley Bay's second. That put them 2-1 up. It's 2-2 with 7 minutes left. Ball into the box. Chow might get there. Headed clear before his keeper got there by goal scorer Goodby. And now Whitley Bay still have it. Anderson inside. Chow edge of the area. Foot on the ball by Coalville players. That handball by Lee Kerr. Yes, it is. On the clearance. Nothing you do about it. Just a stab clearance. Too close. Wouldn't hit his hand.
It's one of those that always gets given. It was ball to hand, but it did hit his hand, so the referee had to give the free kick.
Paul Dixon is pitch side. Dickie, you wanted to come in there?
It's absolutely frantic down here. The fans are dying 1,000 deaths. I mean, it's end-to-end stuff. It's a real exciting game, but will there be a winner before 90 minutes, or will it be extra time?
Well, 6 minutes, in fact, now of normal time to play. I think Coalville, could there be another change? Possibly. They've got Matt Gardner on the bench, who scored 36 goals this season. Someone looked like they were getting stripped. That would be worrying if he came on. And now Whitley Bay have a chance of a good break. McFarlane going forward. He's got plenty of space in the area. Brought down, scythed down cynically by the Coalville player, number 7, Callum Woodward there. It's outside the box, definitely, but it will be a yellow card.
It could be off.
I don't think he was the last man. The referee,
I don't think it was the last man.
He will probably just book him, but just from nothing, Whitley Bay managed to turn and then switch it from right to left.
Yellow.
A good ball out to McFarlane, who's really given Whitley Bay an outlet since he switched to the left-back position. Drove forward. His first touch was a bit heavy, but he got there just before Woodward, who brought him down. A cynical foul and a free kick. I make this 2 yards outside the edge of the area. 5 minutes left at Wembley. 2-2 on BBC Newcastle. Lee Kerr, scored in 3 successive Vase finals, is over this one.
I've seen him put these in on more than one occasion.
He's put these in. Well, he scored a free kick in the last minute in extra time in the semi-final first leg away at Poole Town. And this is very definitely Lee Kerr range. There's a 4-man Coalville wall. There's a 5th player, a Whitley Bay shirt in there. I think he might just break and run away, you know, the Whitley Bay player in that wall, which looks like McFarlane. Here's Kerr with a free kick. Bends it, a goal, it's in, it's off the bar, it's across the line, it has, and it's Paul Chow who's got the goal. He leads the celebrations, and Whitley Bay have got a goal to put themselves 3-2 up with 5 minutes left at Wembley. And we said the free kick was Lee Kerr range. He bent it, it hit the bar on the way in, and it bounced down on the line. And Chow and a defender there went for the ball, but it was Paul Chow who got there first and just touched it over the line. And Whitley Bay's talisman gets his second of the game, his 14th FA Vase goal of the season. This incredible final,
Paul Chow,
yet another twist. Number 10, confirmation that Paul Chow gives Whitley Bay a 3-2 lead at Wembley with seconds left. Kerr's free kick into the box. It got a deflection, it bounced down off the bar. It just hit Paul Chow as it bounced down off the bar. A defender stuck out a leg but couldn't get anywhere near it, and Chow on the line with defender and keeper put it in. Incredible. Whitley Bay 3-2 up with 5 minutes left. Paul Chow is second of the game. Coalville have loaded the box. They have a free kick inside the Whitley Bay half. Stewart to whip it in. Men in there. It's headed down by Brian Smith. Important as well. Just clear anywhere will do for Whitley Bay. They managed to clear it off. The Coalville player. Well, I was sure we were going to have extra time. We spoke to a fan at Watford Gap Services on the way, Barry, and he said, "Can history be made?" That was the slogan on his T-shirt. Well, we've got 3 minutes of normal time and added on time to come as well. And now on will come number 15, Matt Gardner for Coalville. 36 goals for them this season. Surprised he wasn't in the starting lineup, but they're going to throw another forward on for the last 3 minutes here as they win a throw in. Let's quickly go pitch side to Paul Dixon. Dicker, final throw of the dice for Coalville as they look to get back into it. But
substitution here, Matthew.
Number 15 Gardner coming on, a striker, a good goal scorer. And as Barry said, 2.5 minutes left. We can't take anything for granted yet.
Substitute. Matthew, can I just say, Paul Chow, Lee Kerr, how important are those to Whitley Bay? This is the 3rd time there, and it's the Chow and Kerr show again. Been absolutely incredible.
And that's 14 goals in the Vase this season for Paul Chow. That's amazing.
And it's 20 goals between the two of them in this competition this year. And Paul Chow, Amanda, has scored in every single round. Is there a player in the FA Vase who's made more of an impression in this competition? I doubt it. Coalville forward, angled ball into the box, header on, chance here, Burke with an important punch and just about gets it clear. It'll be a corner though. Well, header down there by Coalville as some of their players remonstrate with the fans behind the goal. They ask for more from the Coalville supporters, and they've got a corner, but Burke again quick off the mark, got something on it, a punch that looped behind him and behind for a corner, and here it comes deep to the back post, and then a push in the back. Referee gives a free kick to Whitley Bay, but angled ball into the box, header down, and Burke challenged with the striker more. He got his hands on it, and anything would have done, and it just went behind for a corner.
Well, once again, it was a good save from Terry Burke, to be fair, Matthew, and we criticised him for his display in the first half, but he's been pretty inspirational in the second. He's pulled off 3 very, very good saves, because that wasn't as easy as it looked, and he made 2 stunning saves earlier in the half, so he's certainly contributed.
Whitley Bay, 60 seconds of normal time away from FA Vase history. Unprecedented success in this competition. McFarlane tried a backheel to look for Ormston, it didn't work, so Coalville have a throw in. I think he might have done something with his hamstring, but he'll have to carry on for the moment. Coalville just trying to keep the ball. That's a foul by Robinson. The referee was going to play advantage, then eventually blew for the free kick. McFarlane's in agony. He's down. Is it cramp or has he pulled it?
Craig McFarlane's gone down. Yeah.
The Coalville fans not happy. They're up on their feet, telling him to get up. But as you said, Barry, at this stage of the game, tired legs, players will get cramp. He's worked so hard. He's been bombing forward and then having to rush back in the second half from left back, and has been probably their main outlet. The referee just tells him to get off.
But to be fair to the lad, Matthew, he did go down before he fell in the heap, and he got up again because he wanted to continue.
There's going to be a change for Whitley Bay, and it's going to be...
They're bringing him off, and they're bringing...
Substitutions both sides.
Steve Gibson's going to come on, captain of Chertsey last season, who Whitley Bay knocked out, and he comes on for McFarlane. 4 minutes of added on time here at Wembley. 4 minutes, and we're 20 seconds into the first one. Whitley Bay, 3 minutes and 37 seconds away from winning the FA Vase for the 3rd year in a row. Steve Gibson is on, makes his Wembley debut, but Coalville have a free kick, and this is back to 7 or 8 yards in from the touchline as Coalville make their final change. Number 12, Craig Atwood, comes on, and we await to see who the player coming off is. It's can't see the number at the moment. Anthony Carney, another danger man. He's played well today, the number 11, but Craig Atwood is on for Coalville Town, and here's the free kick towards the penalty spot. Header behind by a Whitley Bay player. Coalville let it run for a corner. Coalville let it run. Matt Morey thought about maybe bringing it down and having a shot, but possibly sensibly lets it run for a corner on the far left-hand side. An in-swinger with the right boot. The keeper's come up for Coalville. Sean Bowles in his yellow shirt. Keeper's up. Ball, here comes the corner. Terry Burke, the Whitley Bay keeper, punches edge of the area, back in by Stewart, headed out by Paul Robinson for Whitley Bay. Desperate defending, the keeper still stayed up. Whitley Bay knock it out for a throw. Gibson got the touch there, but it'll be a long throw in by Cameron Stewart. We're into the second of the 4 added on. Throw into the box, header out by Whitley Bay. The keeper's back on halfway now, but Coalville will put it back in again. Nice little ball on the edge of the area. Here's Atwood, the sub, gives it back to Costello into the box, header down by Whitley Bay. It's going to drop edge of the area. Shot comes in, bends towards goal, onto the roof of the net. Well, danger over, goal kick to Whitley Bay. But my goodness, that was close. And the man of the match,
Terry Burke,
to Whitley Bay's goalkeeper, Terry Burke. Well, his 3rd successive FA Vase final. Only his 15th start of the season, but his 415 games for the club in total. Warm applause from the Whitley Bay fans. He served this club so well, and other players have contributed. There's been some good performances from Coalville, but Terry Burke has made some very vital saves in this second half. And as we're into the second of the 4 added on, Whitley Bay will clear from the goal kick, but Coalville have it back. That's a foul, possibly no. Play on, says the referee, and Chow with a chance to break for Whitley Bay. Kerr on the right hand side is in the area. Chow sensibly to the corner in front of the Whitley Bay fans, who applaud him as he does so. Chow with 2 white shirts at his back. They clear, they play it off Chow, and they win a throw in, Coalville. Well, there can't be long left now. We're into the 3rd minute of added on time. BBC Newcastle, the home of North East Sport, live at Wembley. Whitley Bay on the verge of FA Vase history. Unprecedented success. Forward by the Bay from Coalville's clearance. Here's Steve Gibson, tries to go past players, should have just kept hold of it. Ormston will have to challenge. Ormston will let it run for a throw in.
Matthew, the fans are going wild.
They're on their feet, Paul. They're all stood up. They're ready with their flags and their scarves, the blue and white Whitley Bay supporters who've given them fantastic backing today as Chow flicks on offside flag, catches Lee Kerr. Coalville will have a goal kick last minute. I think now we've added on time. We've lost the clock from the board behind the goals, but
Matthew,
we're very near the end. 30 seconds,
go.
Barry. Forward by Coalville, headed down by Whitley Bay. The referee looks at his watch. Coalville play it back on halfway. They need to get it forward. Whitley Bay 3-2 up. BBC Newcastle live at Wembley. Whitley Bay nearly there. Forward by Coalville. They turn on the edge of the area. Here's Costello, tries to play it forward. Whitley Bay can come forward now. Just anywhere will do it. Has gone anywhere from Paul Robinson. Set up Lee Kerr's second goal. Whitley Bay 3-2 up. Here comes the ball forward by the keeper, Bowles. The referee looks at his watch and blows the full-time whistle. Whitley Bay have made FA Vase history here at Wembley. They have defeated Coalville Town by 3-2 and have won this competition for the 4th time. The first club to do so, and they've won it for the 3rd year in a row. Blue and white bedlam away to our left. The Whitley Bay fans on their feet, jumping up and down. The players in a huddle on the pitch, on their knees, some of them. The subs run on, Ian Chandler runs on. Coalville Town players just sat down, head in their hands, they're on their knees. They can't believe it. They look absolutely distraught. Their manager trudges onto the pitch. They probably deserved to take this game to extra time at the very least. But Whitley Bay, well, this is their competition, their know-how, their experience of the big game, of the big occasion, of the big stage at Wembley has seen them through when the performance hasn't been the best. But Paul Chow and Lee Kerr, just how important are those two players to Whitley Bay? They got the goals. Chow put them in front against the run of play. Kerr then gave them the lead, and then in the final 5 minutes it was Kerr's free kick that hit the bar and Chow on the line stabbed it home. And joy unconfined in the Whitley Bay supporters away to our left. They have won this competition. They've won the trophy, Barry Heinsohn. The players celebrate. They clap the supporters who've given them fantastic backing today. History has been made here at Wembley. BBC Newcastle was there. It's been an engrossing and absorbing FA Vase final. At times we didn't think they'd do it, but they have done it, and boy are we glad.
It's a magnificent result for Whitley Bay, as you say, Matthew. They go into the history books. There's jubilation to our left where the Whitley Bay flags are waving and the crowd are now rising to their players to acknowledge the support they've had. It wasn't easy, they weren't always at their best, but they stuck to it. They took their chances. Their big game players, when they were needed, did the business. Paul Chow with 2 goals, 14 in this competition. Lee Kerr scoring at Wembley again, and Paul Robinson particularly in the second half, showing his influence in midfield to help set up those goals. And Terry Burke coming good in the second half when he was needed. It's a marvellous performance. Coalville made it a marvellous final because they pushed Whitley Bay all the way. They could have won this afternoon, there's no question about that. They caused problems from start to finish, but Whitley weathered the storm. They used all their grit and determination, and in the end they got the result that their fans deserve, that puts them on a fresh page in the history of the FA Vase. They've now won it for 3 years in a row. They've won it 4 times in all, and both sets of supporters quite rightly now rising to salute what the 90 minutes we've had from their 2 teams. It's been a magnificent final, worthy of the occasion, and Whitley Bay will take home the FA Vase, and who knows, Matthew, they've won it 3 times in a row. They might even be allowed to keep it.
Let's go pitch out to Paul Dixon. He's got the man of the match, Terry Burke, with him, Paul.
Man of the match, Terry Burke. Terry, I think, am I right in saying you're 38, 39 now?
I was 39 on Wednesday, just gone.
But you weren't 39 in the second half. Some of them saves were out of this world. How did it feel like?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, to win it 3 years on the trot is just unbelievable. And it was, this is probably the most special of the 3 because this was by far the hardest game of the 3.
Some of them saves in the second half, Terry, over the bar, round the post, you've really kept them out there and you've helped Whitley Bay win the Vase for the 3rd time.
Absolutely, but you know, at the end of the day, that's what I'm there for. You know, I do my job. You know, Paul Chow up front scores 2 goals, he does his job.
And I've asked you every year, Terry, are you coming back next year?
No, today was my last game. That's it, I'm retired now.
Well, what a way to finish. Terry Burke, man of the match.
I think that just sums it up beautifully. Coalville players make their way up the steps to the Royal Box, 109 steps to receive their losers' medals. A quick word on them. As we said, they made this final one, it was, and they won their league. They'll play in the Northern Premier League, First Division South. Next season they've won promotion. Had clearly a club on the Coalville town there collect their losers' medals. Proud day for them, biggest day in the lives of most of their players. The club and all the players have never been to Wembley before, so you know they will reflect on this as a remarkable achievement. And now the victorious Whitley Bay players make their way up the steps to the Royal box to receive the FA Vase trophy. I can see it there on the big screen with just glistening nicely in the Wembley sunshine as Whitley Bay's players. I'm trying to see who's leading them up. We're not entirely sure.
It's Damon Robson.
Damon Robson, who's skipper of the side today. Normal captain David Coulson was on the bench. So Whitley Bay players make their way up the steps. Last year, Leon Ryan lifted the trophy, David Coulson with him, and Mark Taylor, of course, a Whitley Bay player, so sadly suffering from motor neurone disease. They've won it for him these last couple of years as well, and that is another motivating factor for them, and I'm sure that he will take part in the celebrations as well. Still a massive, massive part of Whitley Bay Football Club. But Coalville's players just get the final few, get their medals, and plenty of photographers and cameras have got their lenses focused right in on the FA Vase trophy. It's above us, so we can't actually see it from this commentary position. We're on the same side, but one tier below. Paul Dixon, you're looking right at it.
Yeah, I'm looking right at that FA Vase, and I'm just wondering if this will be the last time it's been at Wembley, and will it stay now at North Tyneside at Whitley Bay? It's a good question.
Something we've tried to find out. Steve Cuggy, a guest on Total Sport on
the
Friday
club
on BBC Newcastle, told us they weren't sure, but surely this club, after making history, would get to keep this competition as Damon Robson leads the way to the FA Vase trophy, followed by David Coulson. Retiring man of the match, goalkeeper Terry Burke. Hugs and kisses for the players, followed by Paul Robinson as well. Gary Ormston there in the line, as well as Culver's players make their way down the steps. Whitley Bay lads preparing to lift the FA Vase for the third time in 3 years. Coulson and Robson will have a hand each on the trophy. Terry Burke is there as well. Robson with the armband, Coulson is there. All the players now have made their way up to the steps. More congratulations. The trophy just about to be presented. Whitley Bay Football Club, 2009 beating Glossop North End. Last year 6-1 winners over Wroxham. Today in a pulsating FA Vase final, beating Coalville by 3 goals to 2. Coulson and Robson hand each on the trophy. A delay, here they come with the FA Vase trophy. Damon Robson and David Coulson now raise the FA Vase trophy aloft for Whitley Bay, and the club from North Tyneside have been presented with their trophy now for the past 3 seasons, for the 4th time in total. Unprecedented success in a National Cup competition, and what a proud moment for everyone associated with this club. What a proud moment for football in the northeast of England. Whitley Bay have made history here today at Wembley. They have lifted the FA Vase trophy. David Coulson and Damon Robson there as they pass the trophy down the line. Terry Burke lifts it. Now Paul Robinson scored in last year's final, set up their second today. He now gets the trophy, gives it to can't quite see who that is. Bolly, face obscured by the trophy. It was Craig McFarlane. Now Paul Chow, their 2-goal hero today. They pass the ball down the line. Kyle Hayes, subkeeper, gets the trophy. They'll continue to each have a kiss of the trophy and then raise it aloft. Paddy McD coming up in a moment here on BBC Newcastle. Reaction, of course, to this game tomorrow with Alfie and Charlie at breakfast. Few of the Whitley Bay players have got jesters' hats on. They've got flags draped around their shoulders. Everyone gets a lift of the FA Vase trophy. Lee Kerr, his turn now. Some closing thoughts from you, Barry Heinsohn. You've covered Whitley Bay for many a year for BBC Newcastle. We've been very, very proud to see this team lift the trophy on the previous 2 occasions, but because of the way they've done it this year, against the odds in a game in which they really struggled for large parts, is this the most significant and the biggest of the 3 wins?
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Matthew. It's certainly been the best and the most closely contested of the 3 finals. I suppose the first one's always special because it is the first one, but to do it 3 times in a row is unprecedented, and that is something that nothing can take away from Whitley Bay. They've played in a fine final this afternoon. Coalville have contributed massively to that, but the honours and the bragging rights and the FA Vase go to Whitley Bay for the third time in a row, and that is history.
A big cheer at Wembley as Ian Chandler, Whitley Bay's manager, the first person to win this trophy as player and manager. He scored the winner, set up by his assistant Steve Cuggy at Villa Park in extra time in 2002. Now 3 times winner as manager. Some of the Whitley Bay players make their way down the steps. They're not too far from us. We can see them coming down, not far from the commentary position. Paul Dixon, our reporter, has been pitch side throughout the game, giving us his view from just behind the dugout. Paul, your closing comments on the day. You were an FA Vase winner in 1978 with Newcastle Blue Star. You're a former Whitley Bay manager and assistant manager. Sum up what a momentous day and occasion this is for the club.
Well, it's a marvellous occasion for Whitley Bay. To win it 3 times, you've got to pinch yourself really to see that they have won it 3 times. It's incredible, and I'm just wondering if they're going to keep the FA Vase, and I really think they should, because it's an amazing achievement they've done. And for Paul Chow and Lee Kerr to do what they've done, to play in 3 Wembley finals and score in every one, that's an amazing feat in any standard of football.
Paul Dixon, thank you very much indeed. History made on a personal level for Lee Kerr and Paul Chow, scoring in 3 successive successful FA Vase finals. Whitley Bay came here against Coalville Down. We thought it would be the closest of the 3 games. Whitley Bay came back down to Wembley looking to make history, and they did just that. They have retained the FA Vase. They've won it 3 years in a row and 4 years in total. The final score from Wembley in the 2011 FA Vase final: Coalville Town 2, Whitley Bay 3.